Well, good morning and welcome to Heidelberg Church. I'm delighted you're with me on Zoom this morning for our Rotary meeting, and we'll talk about voices in the wind. That's because all the sound from a pipe organ is caused by air going through the pipes. You have a complete symphony orchestra at your fingertips. This is the organ chamber here at Heidelberg, and we'll go inside. Watch your step. We'll go first to the great division of the organ. These are the chimes that you will hear on the organ. And this is a part of the great division, and you can see the shutters that open into the sanctuary. When you open the shutters of a pipe organ, it allows the sound egress to the sanctuary to be greater. When you close them, it makes it less. And these on the back wall are some of the pipes of the great division. You'll notice that these are stopped pipes. There's a stop in the top of each of those pipes, which makes the sound of the pipe an octave lower than it actually is. These are reed pipes. Let's go to the swell division. These, believe it or not, are the smallest pipes in the pipe organ, and this is the gamba and the frugara. These are some of the taller pipes in the pipe organ. This is 4 ranks of reed pipes, and you tune a reed pipe by moving this lever up or down to raise or lower the pitch so you control it. Again, you'll see the louvers, the shutters opening into the sanctuary below to allow the sound to come in. As I said before, you have an entire symphony orchestra at your fingertips with an organ. It is called the king of instruments for a very good reason. We'll go downstairs now and I'll show you some pipes, not from this organ, but pipes and how they work, and explain from the console of the organ. And if you will, share with me 3 patriotic numbers at the end. Thank you so much for joining me. There is a reason why the pipe organ is referred to as the king of instruments. The reason is that you have at your fingertips an entire symphony orchestra. Today we'll talk about some of the pipes from the organ. These were not stolen from the organ at Heidelberg, but those I borrowed from school when I was doing workshops for children called Pedals, Pipes, and Pizza, when I introduced them to the pipe organ. I'll show you some pipes. Pipes are made of wood, reed, and metal, like tin. This is a flute. It's called a stopped flute because it has this in it. A stopped flute is an octave lower than the intended pitch. This is a stopped flute. This is an open flute. The principal sound of a pipe organ is called diapason. And this is a diapason stop, and it sounds like this. This is a reed pipe. It's the strangest pipe in the pipe organ in that it's tuned by this lever right here. You can raise it or lower it to lower the pitch. This is a reed pipe. Pretty sound, isn't it? Now then, I've shown you the organ chamber earlier, and if you look up into the chambers right now, first of all, I'll show you the pedals right here. There are 3 expression pedals to the organ. This controls the great division, this controls the swell division, and this is crescendo. Now that if you will look up into the organ chamber itself, when I open the swell shutters, you'll see light coming on in the organ chambers. To make the organ louder, you open the shutters. To make it softer, you close the shutters. This is the great division of the organ. When you open it, the organ is louder. When you close it, it is softer. These are some of the indicator lights on the organ right here, so that you will know how loudly you're playing. It's not like a radio where you can turn up the volume, turn down the volume. It doesn't work that way. All the sound is controlled by the shutters in the organ. This indicates how open the shutters are. This is the swell division. It's all the way open now. And this is the great division, which is all the way up now. Sometimes you'll be playing and you want to add, you don't have time to pull on stops, and so you can use the crescendo, and this indicates the crescendo. Chris, can you get this? I don't know if you can or not. If you're playing this series of lights right here, as the green lights open, you know you have more and more stops pulled on that don't show they're pulled on here, but they are added. And as you take them off, the lights go out again. So we've talked about the three expression pedals, which are great, swell, and crescendo. There's about 1,000 pipes in our chamber up there, and these are the stops that control the organ, and you also have toe studs. You can change stops like this, that cancels stops, or you can change them like this with a toe stud, and that turns them on like this. The softest sound of a pipe organ is caused by the string division. This is the softest stop in the organ. It's called a dulciano. And that's as loud as that gets. The string division is also made up of a viol celeste. This is a viol de gamba. And to add some color to it, you add the gamba celeste. It gives it a little bit of a vibrato, vibrating effect. The largest pipe in the organ is 16 feet tall, and the smallest pipe in the organ is smaller than my little finger in length, not in girth. This is the largest sounding sound of the pipe organ in the pedal, and the highest pitch would be the 2/15. If you're a dog, you can hear those last two pitches. I'd like to demonstrate some of the resources of the organ just by playing patriotic music for this moment. And I thought I would start with America the Beautiful, which all of you know, and if you would like to, I'm playing America the Beautiful, My Country 'Tis of Thee, and the Star Spangled Banner. So since we're doing Zoom, if you would like to sing along, feel free to do so. This is my arrangement of America the Beautiful. It starts with an oboe doing the solo on the swell division. America, My Country 'Tis of Thee. And so I'd like to play that for you. At Heidelberg, when I played this, they accused me of playing God Save the Queen rather than My Country 'Tis of Thee. At any rate, My Country 'Tis of Thee. And at last, your national anthem. Thank you for sharing. God bless you, and God bless America.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. So I had no way of knowing that when I went to mute myself, it was going to mute the entire program until I did it a couple times and you guys gave me the thumbs down. So, Joseph,
I could not hear the sound at all. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Carol.
When you were looking at the pipes, there were like the material string type things tied around the pipes. What is that for, and what does that do?
For tall pipes, it's to hold them to the wall so they won't fall.
Okay, so it's logistic. It's just kind of a logistical thing. Okay, I didn't know if it changed anything to do with the sound.
It just keeps them falling because they're so tall.
Okay.
Thing, when you play the organ, music is written on 3 staffs, one for your right hand, one for your left hand, and one for your feet, because your feet play as well as your hands. You wear special shoes also. These are organ shoes. They're very soft leather. The bottom is suede, so you can feel the organ pipes through the bottom of your feet. And you'll notice that the heel is elevated. Sharps and flats you play with your toes. The natural keys you play with your heels. Also, you'll notice that sharps and flats are raised from the natural notes. And the height of this heel is the same height of this sharp and flat in the pedal notes. So your foot is doing like this. A fulcrum-like motion. So you heel toe. That's more than you want to know.
No, that's great, Joseph, because I was noticing how active your feet have to be, to get all of that going. Does anybody else have questions for Joseph?
Now we know why he's such a great clogger.
I was so disappointed in the sound because with a pipe organ, you are actually inside the instrument. And when you're in the sanctuary, you not only hear the sound, you feel the sound because the vibration is all around you. So you don't only hear the sound, you feel the sound. It's wonderful.
Wow. Now, Joseph, I couldn't tell in the video, how many actual rooms, separate rooms?
2.
2 separate rooms.
2 separate rooms, like 2 large closets. Each of them have a wind chest in it. A wind chest looks like a huge casket with holes bored in it. There are 88 pipes for every stop that you see here on the organ. 88 pipes. There are 56 on the keyboard and 32 in the pedal board. When you depress a key on the organ, it opens a trap door in the wind chest that's called a pallet. Opens that and the wind goes through the pipe. As long as you hold that key, air is going through the pipe. When you release it, the trapdoor slams shut again and stops the air from going through the pipe. So probably the pipe organ was the very first computer. It has that kind of sophisticatedness about it. When you press a key, it opens the pallet, the air goes through the pipe, and it plays. And you multiply that times 88 times the number of stops on this organ, that gives you the number why you need so many thousands of pipes.
Wow. And I may have missed this at the beginning, Joseph. What actually creates the airflow?
There is a huge generator that pulls outside air. It comes in through the basement area, and my office and the organ chambers are on the 3rd floor. And there's a huge thing that pulls air through. And the wind chests are lined with sheepskin. And wind chest is like your lungs, and it expands. And so the more keys you press, the more air it pulls through. And sound is carried on wind. Oh, I remember.
Wow. Oh, Kim, you're muted.
A question. How common is it for a church to have a pipe organ? Number one. And number two, if they just have a regular organ, does all the sound just come out of the back like a normal piano does? And three, about how much is a pipe organ?
A pipe organ will cost you at least $100,000. An electronic organ is just artificial sound. It's like a radio or something. And you don't feel the sound from an electronic organ. It's just artificial synthetic sound. A pipe organ, you have cilia in your ear that can actually sense the movement of air. And it's just a splendid, splendid instrument. All of you are welcome to come by Heidelberg. I'd love for you to experience pipe organ sound. Like I said, you don't only hear it, you feel it. And it's just a glorious, glorious thing.
Yeah. How common is it for churches to have pipe organs?
Large churches can afford them. We keep ours at a constant temperature and a constant amount of moisture. What happened to our organ, this organ was installed in 1955, and they did not keep on the heat and air conditioning in the church. And so therefore, the leather in the wind chest dried out, and people would sit in the choir, and little pieces of leather would be blowing through the pipes and raining down us in the choir. So back in 2014, I got with the consistory and told them what was happening, and they re-leathered the wind chests and renovated the organ. Cost us $56,000.
Wow.
When you have an organ, you've got to have it tuned, normally twice a year, and it's expensive to keep a pipe organ. It's not like you can just plug it in and play it. It's got to be maintained. You take the same care of a pipe organ that you give to your very favorite aunt. You would want her to be comfortable. You wouldn't put her in a room and only give her heat or air conditioning 1 hour once a week. She wouldn't be your favorite aunt if you did that to her. Same thing with the pipe organ.
Okay.
So I'll say, and I think it's exceptionally underestimated, the skill that it takes to play one. We were fortunate enough a couple of years ago in Budapest to have a private organ concert in the balcony of the cathedral, and sent Josef a picture of it, and they wouldn't let us video or take pictures once he started playing. But it was absolutely incredible, and to what he says about how you can feel it, it's an ambiance that you can't describe. But to that effect, here in Thomasville, Josef is exceptionally talented. When you look at and watch the feet movement, and he's not confused by things. And it's tough to enjoy things like that. And Josef knows this. It's tough to enjoy things when people play and not critique. So it's really fun to watch him play. But I don't want anybody to underestimate the skill that it takes and really how talented he really is. So we definitely appreciate that, you sharing your gift with us today.
And I did notice Roger Bryant went ahead and posted that YouTube link in the chat. So if you pull up the chat, you can copy and paste that YouTube link of the video we watched today, so that you can replay that and hear it with a little bit better sound. Are there any other questions for Josef before we conclude the meeting today? All right, Josef, that was brilliant. And I assume this is a talent that we don't have a lot of younger people taking interest in. Am I right with that? That
It's a dying art.
Oh, wow. So
I've had 50 years experience practicing. Maybe I'll learn something if another 50 years happens.
well, again, that was wonderful. Thanks to you for doing it. Thank you, Chris, for doing the video on that. What an exceptional program. And we appreciate so much you sharing with us. And you are very welcome for all the prayers and concerns and thoughts that you had during your surgery. And we appreciate that you thanked us in that way.
Thank you. God bless.
Okay.